Good afternoon. Welcome back. It was great to get back out on the field, continue what we've been working on. Just some of the carryover from the spring, talking to the guys. Biggest difference is just, I think, the collective care of the units, the communication. A lot of talking out there. Defense was hard to go against today. Just a lot of just communication, lining up properly, attacking the ball. So a really good day there. Offensively, we got going a little bit too. But, defense made it hard throwing the ball down the field a little bit sometimes, which is good, which is what we expect. Also, just the focus of this group, it's a very serious, very focused group. They're intent on just continuing to come together. We've talked about that collectively, just how quickly can we come together and play football as one. And that's really the goal right now of training camp. And, I think the last part of it is the competition that I'm looking for in practice, the competition within each position group, which we'll be able to get into here a little bit, to see guys battling all the way through the depth, for places on this team is really exciting to me. And it elevates the practice. It elevates the energy. It elevates the intentionality, and guys just really, trying to find their best and making each other better as a result of that, which is going to be our goal. So I'm excited about just getting it started off.
Aside, did you have to remind Princely and everybody that you got to take care of teammates after that last play where he got his hand on Bryce?
Absolutely. A really close one. A great rush. Exactly why he's here. Is to be able to affect the passer, and just came really tight around that corner and kind of nicked Bryce, on the arm right there. The ball comes out, and that's really not what we want to see. I want to see that first part of it, though, and just the great bend and flexibility and power that he has in his rushes. So even some of the veteran guys would come up at the end, and they're like, hey, don't back off of that. Just be smart at the top, okay? This is all of us. We got to take care of each other at that moment. Those decisions down the field, the decisions in the pocket. So, yeah, that's something that we had to talk about.
Dave, how would you handle that, though, when guys are trying to make a play and trying to do something but not trying to do too much?
With a lot of grace, with a lot of understanding. This is a violent sport, a violent game. These guys are getting in their stances. They've been working on all their pass rush techniques all summer. they go through a great individual and they're smacking the crap out of the bag, which we have the ball kind of positioned in a place to attack the elbow of the quarterback. And so, it's that hardwired training, and you have to just be able to have the presence of mind right there in those moments. So.
Describe your feeling walking out here for your second training camp versus last year when you didn't know a whole lot?
Oh, it feels great. I just honestly, it really starts with the players. I think it's more just they understand the expectation of what a great practice looks like for us from start to finish. The transition in between, everybody's moving around. That when you're not in, you're talking football, and all those things are happening, and so it feels a lot different knowing that I have a group of leaders that have my back, and that understand the expectation that myself and the coaching staff is looking for.
Dave, you bring up the leaders. Josie Jewell got released. How is that situation handled from your perspective?
Yeah.
How long did you kind of know that this could be a possibility? And then also, what was the conversation like yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we had to adhere to the normal concussion protocol, which we did. We did all that. And first, to talk about Josie, you talk about a leader. Guy didn't say a lot. When he talked, people listened. The toughness, the character, the aggressive style of play, always making plays on the ball, throughout his career, the reason why we brought him here. And I think for me as a first-year head coach last year, to have somebody that I could point to who really exemplifies the type of effort, the type of physicality, the character. He's a no-nonsense guy. He wants guys to just look at the truth of what it was, get to the bottom of it and fix it. And he was always at the heart of those conversations. So it's a big loss, definitely for us from that standpoint, and then as far as the rest of it, we just kind of had to take it at Josie's pace and with all the specialists that were working with him, Dan and Brant, worked with the agent and talked to them, and we felt like this was the best outcome right now, with the first, and most important thing for Josie is getting healthy, and getting him to a place where he can make that sound decision on playing football, which he wants to do, or whatever is after that. So I'm proud of the fact that we just had upfront conversations throughout the whole time, and that's what I appreciated about the interaction.
To follow up on that, when we talked to you in March, you were kind of glowing about the signing of Rodesboom.
Yeah.
You obviously drafted Trevin.
Yep.
What's the outlook for those two guys as you head into this second summer?
It's great opportunities for that whole group. You start with those guys. Christian obviously had like 136 tackles or something last year, played on a playoff defense. Really played probably the best year of his career, last year. And for us to be able to have him here is huge. But you talk about a guy like Claude Charilis, Jacoby Windman, Bam Martin Scott, Seavey, Nomura coming in from Fresno State, and then, John Radigan. It's a really talented young group. They're very athletic. They got aggressiveness to the style of play. They fit what we're looking for. So it's a great opportunity for those guys.
What do you know about Bryce today that you didn't know this time of year ago?
I don't know. I don't know that I see anything new necessarily. My expectation for Bryce is to lead this team, which he never stopped doing all throughout last year, even with the challenges that it presented. But he just came right back in, and from the moment we went out there for center quarterback exchange, it's like his familiarity with the system, his command of everything is just like we just picked up where we left off in the spring, to be able to push our concepts and our systems forward, which is really the goal is can we master this so we can add little nuances. And so I feel like, coming in with the type of rhythm and the type of command gives us a chance to continue to grow those things.
What head start does that give you, being in the second year now of this system?
Yeah, it just really, having guys being in the system now for a while just gives us a chance to continue to push on the most important parts of it, the effort part of what we're trying to get. A lot of times when you have a bunch of people thinking, the whole thing kind of slows down a little. It's very mechanical, very methodical. And what I'm feeling out here are guys who understand what we're doing, and I can always tell by the speed of play. The faster we're playing, the more I know they understand what we're doing and where they need to be on any given, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams. So I really feel that jump with this whole group.
What's the next step for Bryce, and how does he take it?
Honestly, we look at like short-term goals. We look at just the command like we talked about, owning the whole system, and I think really just allowing us to have the nuances, the complements of all the different things. As we master a concept, there are things and answers that come off of it. So it's how quickly can we get to that point as a group, and then we can continue to just push the envelope and find new things.
Dave, Damani had that pick earlier in practice. How much has he kind of grown from last year coming in as an undrafted guy to being a guy who's competing for a starting job?
You know, he's got a knack for the ball. It started last year, you know, so he shows up again on the first day with an interception on a ball that was slightly overthrown there, and he went, you know, from the middle of the field and made a great play on that. But I think, again, it's kind of goes to the same thing. It's watching him communicate. I think if you're asking for one specific thing, it's watching him talk. He's got to be connected with the corner, the nickel, the calls that are coming with motions and all those things. And I think that's probably the biggest growth that I see from Damani is his level of comfort in our system to be able to talk loudly. You know, I think sometimes the guys kind of, you know, sheepishly will whisper something out there, but when you can hear them loud and they own it and they're demonstrative, you know that they really have grown, you know, to the understanding of the concepts.
Can you give us updates on the timeline with Tommy and Bobby and Sam?
Yeah, Tommy. So Tommy's gonna have to progress week to week for us. He's doing great. I want to say he's ahead of schedule, but I just know we're going to just take this thing as it comes. But right now he's making great strides. He looks strong in his rehab and all that. So I'm not sure exactly timeline-wise. I wouldn't say Tommy's going to be back soon, like within the next couple weeks. But, you know, I think 3 or 4 weeks or something like that as we evaluate it could potentially be there. And then Bobby got imaging and all the things. It's a hamstring. He did some stuff. I saw him out today before practice. He was down there running, changing direction already. So he's already starting on a pretty good curve. So I hope to get him back pretty soon. Sam Martin's kind of in the same world that way, you know. So it was something we have to be precautionary about. We don't want to throw him back out there. They didn't clear for us right away. So, but I think he's probably on a similar timeline.
Finally won him.
Yeah.
Did a lot today.
Yeah, we're just honestly being smart with DJ. You know, he's had a couple of different things. Obviously, he came in with the quad injury, and so we're just having to make sure that we're able to progress him into camp the right way. So we're going to be smart about DJ. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing.
What about Dan?
We'll do a couple more.
Yeah, Dan's progressing back from a calf. So again, I don't know exactly the specific timeline for Dan, but he is doing some on-ground stuff. I wouldn't say he's at the same markers as Bobby and Sam, but I think he's probably right behind them there. So we hope to get Dan back in there.
Successful season look like this season?
Yeah, just weekly growth, you know, and right now our focus is having a great camp. You know, for me, it's owning the system and working ourselves into condition to where we can be ready to play week 1. That's the focus, you know, and I think with this group, you know, with just talking to the guys in the team meeting with the group that we've brought together, how quickly can we play together? How quickly can we communicate and show that style of football that we want to put out there, you know? And I think that the sky's the limit for this group. You know, I think that this is going to be a very competitive team. I don't think people are going to want to play us by the style of football that we play. I'm expecting that. My expectations are really high for this group. They are every year, you know, and we're going to shoot for as good as we can get. My language to the group is I want to make sure we maximize the talent in this room. That'll take us as far as we need to go, but that's going to be our focus.
Communication in the secondary. How quickly has Trayvon kind of become a voice back there for all those guys?
Yeah, he's a veteran player. He cares. You know, if he's not on the field, he's standing right next to Ronaldo Hill, our safeties coach, and they're talking about concepts that just happened. They're talking about run fits. They're talking about adjustments, and he's just so into it, you know. And I can't talk about him without talking about Turk Wharton. You know, the guy's just – when he's out there, he's the Energizer Bunny, and when he's on the side, he's always talking technique, hand placement, footwork with the veteran guy, with the young guy, and it's just the guys that we love who are just they have a passion for football, a passion for their craft, and I'm really excited that they're here.
Energy. Do you feel less pressure to bring the energy this year or produce energy out on the field than you did a year ago?
I wouldn't say that. I think my mentality is to just try to make sure that in the meeting, when we get our day started, that we have the right mindset, that our focus is in the right place. Today is the most important day we have. It's the only one we have. Can we maximize these days, you know, and especially with the acclimation period, you know, as we ramp up these practices, when we start now, the opportunities are fewer and far between. So we have to maximize the work. We have to maximize the individual drills, the 7-on-7 periods, the team periods, which are a lot shorter right now. When you're in there, maximum effort. Let's get ourselves into game shape. The only way to play fast is to play fast out here on the field. Practice is everything. And so my job is to just keep those guys locked into that mentality. I know it gets more challenging as we get deeper into camp, you know. So right now, everyone's excited, everyone's fired up, and they feel great. and the goal for them is to have that recovery so they can keep playing at full speed, so we can keep throwing practices like we did today. All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. How we doing? One story, like, who has, like, the craziest, like, little off-season, like, something, like, go somewhere crazy, experience something. If anyone has something that's, like, I for sure got something that's the best here. Anyway, I know someone's got something these last couple months.
I saw a turtle nest hatch.
A turtle nest hatch, like, life. What a beautiful thing. Anyone else?
What are your stories?
Here we go. Me, I don't, you know.
We saw you on the boat. The Minnesota Lake Day.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun. Going out to the lake with the guys was fun. Got to have a couple of days away from here, away from kind of where anyone was at. Just being able to meet in like a neutral site is always fun. So I say that was a highlight for me.
You don't like lake water because you weren't fooling with it.
I'll be honest with you. I don't mind water. I don't like sitting around like being wet, if that makes sense. Like I don't like seeing, like, after you get out the water, like, you know, like your clothes, like your shorts is wet. Like I don't like that feeling. I'll be honest with you. So that's why.
Anyway, so,
Wow. Okay.
Well.
So, the end of practice, Princely looked like he kind of jarred the ball loose. Did you guys have to have a conversation after that one?
I mean, I didn't have to say anything, but you know, that's competition. It's football. You know, obviously, you know, there's some etiquette stuff in football, but young guy getting after his first day out here in training camp, and shoot, we want to see those plays on Sundays. You know, he's a competitor. We're all competitors. We want to be getting each other better. So, you know, obviously we want to take care of each other, practice and all that, but I love what he's doing. I love what he stands for. You know, he's on my team at the end of the day. So see him do stuff like that is great. So we love the competition.
You targeted Hunter quite a bit. He's obviously coming back after a year away. What have you noticed about him, working with him the last, I guess during the offseason program?
Yeah, just seeing his, you know, he has such a great feel for the game. Versus man, versus zone. He just has a great knack for getting open. He understands concepts, understands defensive leverage, does a really good job at the top of routes, creating separation, giving indicators, really friendly and easy to throw to as a quarterback. So, you know, super excited to continue to build chemistry with him.
Bryce, I saw you after those first couple of throwing drills kind of pump up the crowd that's not there. What's the vibe like without fans here at training camp, and how do you guys kind of make up for that?
Yeah, you know, we just got to bring our juice. You know, obviously we love the fans, we love support, and you know, for us, fans aren't there during the season. Obviously, you know, we have to make sure that, you know, we're bringing our own energy. You know, there's enough competition between all of us just to stay focused. And end of the day, it's a blessing to be out here. I mean, I play football for a living. You know, I'm super blessed. I'm super grateful. You know, we're all living our dreams. So, you know, just leaning on that, having the positivity with that, and just understanding it's a privilege to be out here. So I think just, you know, having that energy within ourselves is big.
I saw that Mike, Jack, and JC were really near you guys in the quarterback drills early. What was that all about?
Yeah, competing. You know, again, it's they're great competitors, great players. And right now, training camp is you know, we'll be a team on Sundays, but right now it's offense versus defense. So we're going back and forth with each other. Just want to make each other better and make the team better.
Yesterday, he thinks there's a vibe about this team. Thinks y'all could surprise some people. Folks like Dan Patrick have said that. Are you kind of picking up on a similar vibe too, that this team's ready to take the next step?
Yeah, I mean, we have confidence within ourselves. We understand that comes from training camp, though. You know, I believe in everyone in the locker room. We all believe in each other, but we have to put the work in. We know that this is the time to get better, to continue to grow as a team, to continue to forge our identity, and to carry into the offseason, to the regular season. So, you know, we feel great. We're confident, but also we know we have a lot of work to do.
So much was made of the continuity year 2 under Dave. Could you sort of, is this where you really start to feel that at training camp, that sort of where everything's just a little bit faster maybe than it was last year?
Yeah, I think all of us as a team, you know, having a year last year and then going into this year of just buying into the culture, buying into Coach's message, you know, buying into everything that he presents to us on a day-to-day basis. You know, we've already bought in, and now it's just making it our own, and that's something that Coach always stresses. You know, which is big for us. We've had that experience now, so you know, obviously having the same coaching staff with just who this coaching staff is. You know, we're super grateful for them to be here, what they bring. So, you know, we have a lot of work to do, but we're grateful for it.
Do you see it different in Dave as he starts his second season that wasn't there last year?
No, I mean, he's the same consistent guy, just like he was last year, every single day from the first time he addressed the team to the last. He's the same person in meetings, in the practice field, and from a player standpoint, you really respect that consistency. You know what you're going to get from him. You know what it is he stands for, and that's a reflection of the entire coaching staff as well. They do a great job of just being the same person every day. That's all you really can ask for as a player. So, you know, I think that it just speaks volumes that now that, you know, we've been around them longer and longer, they're staying the same level of consistency as teachers.
What you learned about him being able to make the tough call to bench you 2 games in the last year?
Yeah, obviously he's going to do whatever he feels like makes the team better. It's the same thing I want to do. You know, we're all Panthers first, and you know, we all are bought into the organization.
Coach Reich said you ran into him on the street Monday night or something. Tell us about you were in a car apparently, pulled over and talked to him.
Yeah. I was just randomly saw Coach Reich, which was really cool. You know, I always have a ton of love for Coach Reich. You know, we still keep in contact. You know, that was who drafted me, who was the reason why I'm here, which I'm super grateful for. So, you know, it was great seeing him. He had his guys too. I'm super happy for him at his spot as well.
Has he given you any advice that you're able to share?
Just support. You know, same thing. He's been a coach for a long time, so he understands just how it is. He has a lot of respect for this coaching staff and the unit and just organization as a whole. So just always supported, which I definitely appreciate.
How much has T-Mac kind of relied on you to get ready for his first NFL training camp?
Yeah, you know, I think that I appreciate him for just wanting to have open communication, open dialogue. You know, he's someone who always wants to talk, always wants to be on the same page, always wants to learn from anyone, from other receivers, coaches. So I think we're relying on each other, as we all do, just within the team. Of, you know, we give each other that comfort to have confidence and to go into the year how we want to feel. And then, you know, right now, obviously in training camp is when we continue to earn that.
Your take on flag football being an Olympic sport? I don't think we've asked you about it. It's something you would ever entertain?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's really cool to see. Obviously, it's great to see the game expanding, both men's and women's. You know, especially younger levels, it's really cool to see. So seeing the Olympics is it's really cool.
Have the chance to, like in your case or anyone's case, to represent the country and try to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, for anyone, I think anyone would say that's obviously that would be a huge honor for anyone. Olympics is always, you know, it's an amazing event. It speaks for itself. So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity.
Obviously, you've done this a couple of times now, so you know what to expect. And like you said, you have the consistency with Dave. But just where's your confidence level at heading into this camp versus the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'm super confident. Again, that comes from just this building. Being able to rely on my teammates, coaching staff, who's around me. That's really what I get my confidence from. And I'm grateful to be a part of the organization.
You and JC there, just like Jerry.
Yeah. Again, just competitors. It brings the best out of both of us. Appreciate you guys.
Good.
I'm sure you were aware at some level, but of Josie's situation and kind of how that all played out.
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of that is probably behind the scenes that we don't know. But I was kind of more just on the side of worrying about him as a human, and him going forward. So I think that was kind of the first thing on my mind. That's just something that it's a little bit bigger than football. So as far as how that goes with the contracts and all that, it's a lot bigger. A lot bigger than that for sure.
Maybe not how you wanted to get here, but really elevates your spot on this defense. Could you address that?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's definitely not the way. That's just how football is, though, And like I said earlier, you care about him as a human first and foremost, and it was great to get to know him and hopefully continue that relationship and maybe play again together someday once he heals up. So. But I've been in this role before, so it's not something that's new to me. So I'm excited to kind of take that opportunity and run with it. So,
what have been your first impressions just coming into this organization? You have familiarity with everyone, but just in terms of what Dave Canales and Dan Morgan are trying to do too.
Yeah, I think the first thing I noticed was the culture that we're trying to build, and how they really try to get guys in here this offseason, and then the rookie draft class that really fit that culture and kind of build on what last season ended with and moving on from there for sure.
We're kind of attached at the hip today. I know it's only been one day, but how much are y'all leaning on each other now that Josie's not here?
Yeah, I love Trev, and I'm excited to play with him, obviously. And we have a great room. I'm excited to have all those guys for training camp and kind of see how the season shakes out that way. And that's kind of like I said, with football, there's guys that'll be in the room and out, but I'm just excited to play with all those guys in there this training camp.
That was his number last year. Was there a conversation about that, or did he move on?
Yeah, no, he wanted to move, I think 32. Well, I know 32 is his college number. 56 isn't necessarily something I'm super attached to, but it was available, so I just went with it. So.
What would you want?
56 is great. No, I'm not probably too much of the flashy type to get a single digit as a linebacker, but 56 is a good linebacker number for sure. I'll take it.
You had a big year last year. What was the key to that, and how would you describe your game or what you bring to this defense?
Yeah, I think last year, just making the most of my opportunities and staying healthy the whole season. Football is a very physical game, so to be able to play a full season and play 2 playoff games and come out healthy was huge for me, and that's been, knock on wood, that's been consistent throughout my career. So I think I'm just excited to see what my role will be and where I can fit as a leadership role, being the green dot right now, and hopefully making the most of that opportunity, just like I've kind of done in the past. I haven't been necessarily given any opportunities, just kind of had to kind of take these and run with it.
And you mentioned being in this situation before. What's the process like when you find out in a hurry you're going to be in that role, and how do you adjust to that on the fly?
Yeah, I think what's been nice is early in my career I was a backup, and it's really hard to be a backup and prepare every game like you're going to play and then not seeing the field. So to prepare like a backup but prepare that you're going to play, I think during OTAs was just something that I've done kind of my whole career. So it's still football. This is a scheme that I've played in for this will be my 6th season in, so I feel comfortable in it. So I'm excited to, like I said, see where my role is that way.
Christian, back on the Josie thing, did he talk to you individually? Did he address the team at all yesterday, or how did you find out?
Yeah, he told me in the morning. I know his big thing is he didn't want it to be a distraction, which whatever he would have done, I think it's a big deal to not have him in the locker room. So it's not like it was a distraction, kind of maybe a disappointment that he's not going to be around for a little bit. But I think he handled it about as best as anybody could. I don't obviously know the ins and outs of kind of what happened, but nothing but respect for him, and I think that kind of goes for the whole team and the organization. So,
what's been your impression of the young edge rushers you guys have brought in?
I'm excited to. It's been fun seeing him at OTAs. I'm excited to see him with pads on, kind of in that live setting, just because they're very explosive, and I think they're going to make a lot of plays for us.
From a franchise, pretty much a perennial playoff team. What's the vibe? I know you've only been here since March, April. What's the vibe though around this franchise?
I can tell that we're really hungry for success, and I think we're willing to sacrifice a lot to get that success. And I think it starts. You're not going to win against Jacksonville today, but I think the mindset's been, you got to take it one step at a time and got to string together a few good days, and before you know it, the season will be here, and we got to be ready to roll.
Good number of former Rams are here on staff and on the roster. How has that translated at all in terms of that atmosphere and attitude you're referring to?
Yeah, obviously the familiarity has been awesome for me and for those guys, but I think to have guys everybody here is the best in the business. Every single team around the league that's the best in the business, so it's really about coming together as a team. So no matter where you come from, it doesn't really matter. It's what we can do this year and how we can come together as a team.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks, Chris.
JC, saw you and Mike Jack over by the quarterbacks pretty early. Bryce kind of indicated maybe a little early trash talk. Is that kind of what that was about to start practice?
Yeah, trying to get in their head a little bit. We was catching the ball where they was warming up, so they can get used to throwing it to us. So it was it was a fun little warm up.
Bryce asked us about our off season, but you became a father during the off season. Tell us about that. You had your first Father's Day.
Yeah, it was the best thing in the world. I tell people, growing up, I always thought being drafted or going to the NFL or NBA would be the best feeling. But I first held my baby. That was the best feeling in the world. And it's just fun to go home every day to her and see a smiling face, and just make life a lot better.
Has fatherhood changed you in any way?
Not really. Give me a little different perspective on life, of knowing things that's what's really important, and just trying to lead in the right footsteps for her and give her a good example.
You sleeping well? Get a lot of sleep with her?
Yeah. My girl, she'll take her to the guest room, so she ain't waking me up all through the night. She know I got to get up early, so yeah, I've been getting some good sleep.
I saw Corey Thornton rotate in there with Mike Jack a couple times when you were out. What have you seen from him? I know it's only day one training camp, but going back to the offseason, OTAs and all that.
Really just consistency. Corey came in at OTAs and did a good job the whole camp. He came back, and that's what he earned, just the right to get in there and mix it in with the ones. I think he did a good job today too. We're gonna go back and watch the film, but Corey just been real consistent in his technique and his preparation, and I think he's gonna be a good player for us.
JC, Dave Canales said earlier that y'all would be a team that nobody wanted to play soon. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm right on board with him. That's just a mentality. How this team is going to be branded. A physical football team where win, lose, or draw, when you go in there and see the Panthers, it's going to be a physical football game and you're going to be hurting afterwards. And that's just the attitude we got to have, and that's got to be our brand of football when we travel and play.
JC, heard you telling T-Mac you were waiting on the catch. Was that trash talk, instruction, or was it both?
Making me look bad. Nah, just a little fun trash talk.
How motivated are you guys as a defense just to flip the narrative
erase the stats you see out there about defense. That was one of the worst in the league last year.
Yeah, super motivated. Anytime you attach to that defense, I tell the guys all the time, you got to take that personal. Like, even when we out here having fun, talking trash, like, last year was last year, but, we still on the wrong side of history, and we got to have that in the back of our mind every day and prep the right way so we can come back this year and put good stuff on tape.
Kind of like Damani make that kind of play, showing off the range there. Dave talked about, how good he is as a communicator. What's impressed you the most about his growth and into year two?
Just what you said, the communication, playing above the X's and O's, because it's hard for a lot of young guys to do that. They just try to do exactly what the coach says so they don't get in trouble. But Damani, he came out the SEC, so, I expected him to, be a high-level player, and he turned it into just that, communicating at a high level, making plays, and I think he's just going to get better and better.
How big a blow was that yesterday to learn about Josie?
Yeah, man, first it just hurt as a person, just seeing him go through that. I didn't really even think about the football side of it immediately. Later on in the day I did, because he's a hell of a player, but just as a person, he a great guy, and you want him to be okay. So, we just sending prayers up for him, and he's going to come back strong.
And just told us he was wearing the green dot today. Early impressions of him.
He went smooth today. I don't watch the linebackers too much, but we're not in pads yet, so you can't really feel him. But the communication and stuff in the huddle was A1, and I feel like everybody got the call around the defense, and we played fast.
Are you coming into this camp with the most consistency you've had since being in the NFL?
Say it one more time.
Is this the most consistency you've had across the team coming into a camp?
Yeah, for sure. For myself, just coming off a year where I finished pretty much healthy, getting a full offseason to train and rehab, and then with the same coaching staff being back on the defensive side of the ball and getting Coach Canales back, it's a lot of consistency, and I feel like, we got a program now, and we understand what we're here to do.
You were able to stay healthy last year, and you had kind of changed things last offseason to kind of be able to get to that spot. Did you make any tweaks as far as just your recovery this offseason to make sure you can maintain your ability?
I went back to the same training facility and tried to do the same exact thing. We did some of the same workouts. Just tried to stay with the same program because it worked for me.
Do you enjoy days like today, or are you itching to get the pads back on?
I'm a corner, so even with the pads on, it don't change much for me. Like, we can't tackle or anything even when we have pads on. So we got to cover anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to get it on. It'll make the energy of practice go up a little bit more.
What are you seeing different about Xavier?
One more time.
What are you seeing different about Xavier?
Just more confident. Always going into year two, you got a little more confidence. You understand what your coach is looking for. You understand how the NFL game is played because it's so different from college. So just seeing him practice fast is the main thing I see from him, and I'm excited to see him year two.
Got a program now. Just from your point of view, is there a difference between having a team and having an established program?
Yeah. Now guys know what coach is expecting. You're not learning a whole new, it's the same language in the meetings, same practice schedule, same camp schedule. Like, you're kind of used to it. So now you can just focus on the football part and getting better each and every day.
Franchise that kind of needed some stability, like to have an off season where there was no GM change, no coaching change, no quarterback change.
Yeah, it's good in anything you do when you got stability and you got the program that you working and running. So yeah, we definitely needed that.
About your new car back at minicamp. Tell us about it.
I told you got to come see it, bro. You got to come see it. You got to come to the parking lot. Where are we gonna meet? Parking lot. Come back there. Y'all see it. It's the coldest one in the parking lot. Y'all know which one it is. Good. Appreciate y'all.